Hello everyone, welcome back to another game of Fury of Dracula. In this one I'm playing as the Hunters and I'm playing against Roscoe. Instead of tag teaming, we're actually back playing against each other. But we've mixed things up a little bit because Roscoe's actually in a voice call with me. Maybe you'd like to say hi to the folks at home.
Yes, good evening, Scot-sword. Nice to play with you, and good evening to all your listeners, viewers.
Well, thanks for joining us on the voice call. So basically the objective today, we're obviously going to be playing a game, and hopefully I'll be getting the win, but that's not guaranteed. But we're going to just have some banter as we're playing, but we'll also end up probably having conversations about just the game in general and also rumour tokens, because they've been a bit of a discussion. I mean, Roscoe and I have had private discussions about rumour tokens in between, and also last night we were having conversations with Warecraft and Quincy about it too. So everyone's been chipping in with their opinions about them. So we'll talk about them as we go along. Just to let everybody know watching what we've actually done. Rumour tokens are on. Normally when Roscoe and I play, rumour tokens are off. But we have them on, but we've included a variant where where Dracula cannot use the rumour token until either one of two things happen. Either we get into the second week and then he's free to use them however he wants, or if the hunters reveal any aspect of like Dracula's trail or current location by using psychic bond or hypnosis or newspaper reports or whatever, then they are rumour tokens and then free to be used. So we'll see how this goes. So my first question was going to be, I've got like no script here, by the way. There's just questions just coming into my head randomly. But one question I did have was, obviously, compared to me, you're quite an old hand at this game. How long have you actually been playing? And like, how did you discover it?
I saw the board game being played on, I think it was Will Heaton's channel,
Ah, the
whichever one
tabletop.
that
Yeah,
was.
that's how I discovered it
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
There was also another, I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but there was another couple of English guys that do a lot of board game reviews. They did this, they did Whitechapel. And I've always been a kind of fan of the Gothic and these types of games, although I didn't know about previous editions until this one, really. So I went and bought the game in August 19, something like that. Really loved the setup, loved how it was all done, and that kind of game really appealed. So started getting the friends to come around and play and what have you. So we got into it via that, and then when the world closed down in March 2020, is when I looked at the digital version was there. So I jumped across to the digital version. But yeah, that's been when I'm looking at it, it makes it a bit easier to realise how many games I've played when it's been over a 2 year span. I mean, I'm over 500 games,
Wow.
but that's over 2 years. So yeah, it makes it a bit less of a Billy No Mates. But
Yeah. As
when
a,
with without the digital version that Nomad did, which bar a couple of variances to the board game, I wouldn't have been able to play it. So it's been great. It's opened me up to this community, players of varying levels. Quincy knows the games from the first edition way back and all the rest of it. You don't necessarily need to know that aspect because all the games seem to have changed slightly in their real re-editions. Yeah, having it on here was fantastic. And now that things are kind of back, it's great. I've been able to have a couple of proper board games, in person with friends as well.
good.
It's funny just remembering. I was playing a board game the other night, and I forgot 'cause obviously on here you move, and then the trail six falls off.
Yeah.
I started doing that, and I was, "What are you doing? You can't do that. You've got." Oh yeah, that's right. I get to. That's the advantage. I get to move that first, and then I can
Mm.
decide. But yeah, it's been great. I'm not heavily involved in tabletop games and things, but this is just ticks every box for me. So I'm glad Nomad had this. I don't know how long it's been around before I bought it, but it's probably been years since I've had it.
That's probably about right. I think if I remember seeing the date it was released, it was probably around, probably maybe just before lockdown that it came out. Maybe tail end of 2019, maybe. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, if I had this during lockdown, oh, that'd be a very different lockdown for me. Um, I was very late to the party. I think it's about 3 months I've been playing this now.
Oh, right, okay.
Um,
Well, as I said, I mean, when you came in, you're certainly got the hang of the game. It didn't take you long to pick it up at all, and it's a worthy opponent. So it's not about the longevity, how long someone's been playing, because somebody could have been playing for years and just don't really play it too well. It all comes down to the individual's strategy. And I've played chess for years, which I think helped me when I first joined. I was taking a more chess strategy approach to the game with movement and so on. But as Quincy rightly says in his videos as well, this is a game of three elements, one,
yeah,
and
the
if you
movement,
focus
the
on one, you'll
combat.
lose. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think for me, it's just like when I find games that I like, I become incredibly obsessive about them. Not into a sense that it's like dangerous or anything, but just like when I find something I like, I'm like, yeah, I want to get into this. It's the same with Gloomhaven, the other game I got on my channel. I discovered that during, uh, yeah, just as soon as the lockdown hit, thanks to a friend who recommended it, and we were playing it all through lockdown. And then when the digital version came, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm on this.
mhm.
I only stopped playing
I'm,
Gloomhaven to play
I'm
this
buying that
actually.
tomorrow, actually.
Oh, are you now? Oh, good. I got another Gloomhaven convert. Nice. I like that. I mean,
Yeah, well, I always got that kind of
the digital or the physical?
digital.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was gonna say like the physical version's like a massive box that costs like 200 quid. So that might not be a good idea. You have to be very committed to it if
uh,
you get that. Um, I only,
I
I only,
like the yeah,
yeah, it's good. I only started playing it just because I was playing Fury of Dracula so much. Otherwise, I would still be playing Gloomhaven. I think. I mean, more than I am
yeah, I
normally.
like that. There seems to be a lot of similarities between the games, which is good. It's not a kind of fast-paced mouse and keyboard sort of game. I'm not a PC player per se, so this kind of sort of speed of game is the kind of stuff I like.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll get that tomorrow. But so in the 3 months you've been on with this, and what's been your take and initial thoughts on the gameplay and various things?
Whew. I don't know. I'm definitely a bit. I think it's because depending on the. I mean, obviously, I learned a lot from Quincy's guides, and also then Warecraft taught me. So I'm kind of biased towards like their style of, especially from a hunter's perspective.
Sure.
I don't consider myself a hunter player, even though I play hunters more. I think it's not. It's normally often by necessity that I play hunters. I enjoy it. It's not like I'm saying here, oh, it's rubbish. I do really enjoy playing hunters, but yeah, it's more through necessity. People don't like playing them, or they find it really difficult, or whatever it is. And yeah,
It's one of those games that get the get the best out of it. You have to have pretty comprehensive knowledge of both factions.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Otherwise, I've played opponents that would only stay as Dracula, and then you do a renewed vigor fast horse into a move, and oh, how did unless you know both sides, you can't really understand it, or even
Mm,
begin to surmise a hunter's strategy or the opponent's strategy. I can see for beginners that hunters could be daunting, especially if they're playing it just themselves. It's four characters to when I started doing it, it was I'd always forget who had what cards and various things. But I think by me coming from the board game to the digital, it was easier because when the board game, I
yeah.
would do a I would do a 1v1 as hunters, and you're sitting there with
Yeah.
cards just kind of, hang on every turn. You're like,
I
who's got what?
yeah.
Because
I
you came
can't.
on here and
I
it
can't.
tells you straight away.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing a 1v1. I've got the physical version too. I've played it a couple of times with friends. We didn't do like a 4v1, it might have been like a 3v1, I think, I remember correctly. But I cannot imagine doing a 1v1. That would be ridiculous. Even now, like, I play digital a lot, I would be like, the games would take forever. You're like, who's got what? It'd be very.
It was you were just and then you'd miss something, and it does slow the game because obviously depending who you're playing with, the other track will say, okay, have you got any dust cards? Have you got any dawn cards? So, oh, let me just check. And, and then obviously on here, although to be fair, obviously with here, that doesn't allow is Dracula to know what the hunters have. Whereas on here, as soon as it comes up saying waiting for,
Mm,
Dracula knows that you've got something you can use,
Yeah, but
with your
then,
vigor or
but
whatever it might
but then
be.
what?
So
Then what is it? That's the question. Is it speed takeoff? Is it
yes,
long
of
night?
course.
Is it? Yeah. There's a lot of different options it could be. Yeah. Aye. So,
I think we will.
oh, someone's not happy with their hand of cards. What was it? Double rats and triple saboteur or something.
I mean, I love dogs. I'm a dog person, but yeah, I don't want three in my hand. That's just a way.
um, let's see. If I get a newspaper now, that would be pretty nice. Ugh. Yeah. I'll speak of the devil. Oh no, it's not.
I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be. I mean, to be fair, I always assume that I'll get found in the first week. That's not my plan to do anything. It's always okay. Well, when I get found, I need to leave a trail of traps or do the damage to the hunters
that
via my trails rather than me.
that's how I mean I don't play Drac so often, but that's my way of playing Drac. I'm very much like, okay, if I get found, what is going to be the most irritating thing for the hunters to deal with? And that's kind of like the way I approach it. But it's yeah. Ah, my OP card. Oh, that's no surprise. Can you imagine?
And at least you're not at any ports. That's when it kicks in, isn't it? Your local rumours and your evil presence.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Just a bit that way.
Then again, the other thing as well is unless hunters get great cards in the first week, even Dracula getting found isn't really, they're not going to jump on Dracula. I mean, well, they might, but if they aren't tooled up properly, it's going to end in an escape as bad as Dracula or ideally damage or death to a hunter. It's a couple of nice points. So the first week is setup week, and I mean the final week is when it all, as you and I know, is
Yeah,
when it all comes down to it. So
it does. Yeah.
the rest of it is just a build up to the finale.
I think so. Yeah, basically, what prompted? I mean, we were having conversations about rumor tokens since we've had it a couple of times. What really prompted was a game last night. So actually, the game I played against where you spectating, but I think you came in after the ridiculous beginning. So basically, to fill you in, and basically what happened was I was in Eastern Europe. I went from like 53 and I just headed east, did like this meandering trail. Warecraft didn't get onto one of my locations until like Friday or Saturday of week 2, because he didn't get any newspaper reports
Wow.
at all. And then
Wow.
he did high scouts on Sophia, and then the next turn I moved to Sophia, so he just missed me, and just the utter shenanigans of it. Like, I know they said like in the Discord or something like, oh, there's 86% chance of getting newspaper reports and hypnosis and all that. I was like, well, Warecraft was very much in the 14% that night. It was just ridiculous. I hadn't. But then what prompted our conversation after was like, I had such a huge lead, and then spoiler alert, people on YouTube, I lost the game because hunters have that combination of was like a chartered carriage and heroic leap and forewarned on the right people, and I lost.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, no, I had, yeah, oh, that's okay. Part of that has to come down onto my responsibility. It was like, well, I didn't make the correct move. I shouldn't have moved to Genoa. I should have gone to Cagliari and then gone somewhere else. But still, it's like, well, if I played a rumor token at some point on the first vampire that matured, because I did get a vampire to mature, I would have been one day closer to victory. Now, actually, in the end, it would have made a difference, but it actually would have made quite a big difference to the arithmetic of how I would have played those final moves.
Of course. Yeah.
So, and then I had a conversation with him afterwards where we analysed that particular game and just the game in general for quite a while. And I stated at one point that before the last 2 games that I've lost, I was on a 16-game winning streak or something like that, and he was like, "Okay, maybe we do have to bring rumor tokens back." I mean, some of those games were against people who had rumor tokens, but maybe they weren't. I can't remember exactly. Maybe they weren't quite so experienced, perhaps.
Well,
But
this is the thing. This is the thing. I mean, the rumour tokens, yeah, you play. Again, it comes down to the opponent if they know how to play it effectively, when to play it. You know, do you save all three and use them in the final week, and then basically all you need is one of them to come off to get you that? You know, so
hmm
and as you say, it's the if somebody's new to it, it's another tool they've got to remember,
yeah,
especially when it can be quite overwhelming if they're you've got all your power cards and this and this and this and that, and it's like, oh right. Plus, also remember your rheumatoid. There's been a couple of players in the past that in game I've said to them, they've played it on something, and I've said, did you mean to play that? And they said yes, and then it wasn't on a vampire, it was on, I don't know, let's just say rats for an arbitrary
hmm
comment, and it was they just clicked it because they thought they would get something from that, and it was like,
uh,
well, you only get the points if it's a vampire card. Rumor tokens are irrelevant on any other card.
from vampires.
Somebody thought if they used it on a fog, it would double the fog, so it would be effectively 4 nights delayed, and it was like,
Uh,
no, no, it only says. To be
yeah,
fair, I don't know if it is. I mean, I think it's in the library, but it's not really detailed about
what it
how
does.
to use it. So,
No.
I think that was the reason, when and like I say, when I had the board game, because you'll know yourself, anyone that's got it will know, when you look at all the stuff on the board, you've got the tokens for fangs, the tokens for roadblocks, the tokens for rumor tokens,
Yeah.
and when we played, we just forgot to use them.
Yeah,
So,
it's just a mountain
you
of
know,
stuff. Yeah, like on here where
we're
it all
used.
appears automatically. Yeah.
That's it. So I was used to playing without it, and then when I joined, just automatically a setup that people would use it. So I was like, all right, fair enough. And then it just got to a state I think it was myself and Mr. Green were playing, and we did many games together. And I said, look, do you want rumor tokens on? He says, well, I'm not really bothered. I said, well, let's take them off and see. And it changed the game. It was, obviously it's a longer game, but it made it a lot more, right, well, this is quite good. But then throwing it back in, is, as you say, it's one of those where it doesn't OP the hunters. Where in the game I saw with yours yesterday, if or likewise games you and I have had, where
Mm,
you've had you've had powerful cards in your hand because like I said in my comment on Discord, there's not as much urgency for hunters to move. They can just sit and supply as long as they want, because if a vampire card matures, it's going to be 3 or 4 points instead of 6 and 7,
yeah.
and you can just burn through a deck quite easily. And then
Mm,
all of a sudden, the hunters jump on Dracula with both renewed vigors and a heroic leap and great strength, and all. I think the game's meant to be balanced where the hunters, because otherwise, like we said, the three elements of this game, the move becomes less of a priority,
yeah.
and the combat really isn't much of a priority, because by the time you do fight, you've got all the stuff you need to,
To
to
kill in
throw it
one
down.
go.
But
Yeah. Whereas, if there is a situation where there is a rumor token, especially late in the game, that is going to mature, then the hunters are potentially having to be in this awkward situation being, well, I want to jump on Dracula potentially 3v1 or 4v1, but I've got these two things I have to try and deal with as well. And if the combat somehow fails, if they're not well equipped or whatever, and the combat fails, then I'm going to definitely lose the game. And you're kind of left in this, yeah, more of a quandary, I think. I think,
and then it allows the red herrings. Then you throw a you can throw
exactly.
a little token down something irrelevant that wastes their time, and the Dracula for 4 points matures, which wins you the game anyway. So
Yep.
it does bring an element. I can see why. And again, like I said, that's probably why the developers. I don't know if in previous editions rumor tokens were a thing. Do you
I
know
don't, I
if that
don't,
was a?
I don't know the other versions, but I think if I understand it correctly, they were not in until third edition. So I guess you would have got the what's it called, Flight Fantasy or whatever it's called, that version. If it's the tabletop, the version you saw on tabletop, then yeah, that's the first one with rumor tokens, I think. Unless
Right.
I don't have a knowledge of first and second edition very much, so I could be wrong with that, but I think that's the deal.
Yeah, no, I know. Quincy's played them all, so he'd be able to identify that. But I think it's a good addition. Whether it was added because it was the gameplay was too one-sided in previous games, and they brought that in, because you have to think, why would they bring that in? Because it obviously helps Dracula. There you go. That's what I got. So you can see why why a dark called.
Yeah, but there's no fog, mate. Where's your fog? I want to take your fog away. For goodness
Well,
sake.
maybe the fog's lingering at the port. Who knows? Oh, am I at a port? Oh, who knows?
Damn, I don't know what to get rid of. Ah, just this. um, yeah,
Or a new top hat or nothing.
so just for the people at home to realize what I'm kind of thinking, the reason why I don't like rumor tokens early. In case I don't draw newspaper. The reason why I don't like rumor tokens played early is because I know the chances of this are quite low, but just from experience playing, it doesn't feel that low. There are situations where the hunters cannot get to the location to stop things maturing. Not a fault of their own, but just because they haven't got the cards, or even if they do get the cards, they get them too late, and they're still their horse economy might not be set up or whatever, and from no real fault of their own, they're quite hampered potentially for the rest of the game from it. So I don't know. Maybe just me. Maybe I'm being too precious about it. I don't know.
No, yeah, I can see the point with that. I mean, I guess by then what you would look at is by the time the Luma token matures in week one, you've identified where Drac is. Two, the hunters will be pretty well supplied. They should then be able to identify, okay, well, that's where he started. He's three from there. That the hunters can close in on the trail. That even if another Rube token's thrown down, they're still in a position to deal with that. Obviously, if you catch the one, if somebody plays it and then the second week they play it on the third day and it's caught, then they can't use it again. That's them out of it for the following. So I never used it heavily, reliant as I need this to win token. More about I'll play it if I need to, but again, I've won games without using them. Again, you get 4 points with matured, reckless, or aristocratic, or 3 with the vamp, but you've also got, and I think when there's a lot of onus on that, it takes away the part of the fun where you can fight. The combat is what I enjoy as well, and you've got a chance of killing a hunter, getting, depending where you are in the weeks, getting 2 points, 3 points. It strips them of whatever they had. So if they don't have that, then you kind of go, well, is there any reason for them to engage Drac
Yeah,
face to face?
I think
It's horses courses, isn't it? I think it just depends how people.
I
It's a
had
good
that.
option to have.
Yeah, I had that in a game a few nights ago. The game before I playing Warcraft. Speaking of which, Warcraft's here watching. And what happened was my opponent, they got a vampire to mature, which I could not get to. I think if I remember correctly, I got to the space, but it had like a bat or a saboteur on it. I was like, well, I don't have forewarned, and I can't deal with this. And then just but I thought I played a reasonably safe move with Mina moving her to 38, just to block off. I didn't realize he'd moved up there already, and then she ended up dying in a fight. Now, of course, then the counter argument would be, well, you shouldn't be letting Mina die there. That was stupid hunter play, which I can happily admit. But then they've got 9 points very early, and for the rest of the game, you're just treading on like eggshells. And then all it takes, like, you got like 1 point from a reckless vampire, and I'm just like, well, all you have to do now is you can just go to sea as long as you want, and then just land, and then that's the game, and I can't stop you. Especially Rufus Smith didn't come up, so I was like, I feel like you tread on eggshells a bit too much, and maybe then it's too far away from the hunters then, but I don't know. Then,
Yeah.
now I know where you are, so now rumor tokens are very much willing to be played.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Well, because you see, like in a situation like, I mean, actually, I could have misplayed. I might have been actually to get to this, but yeah, in a situation like this, if this had a rumor token, potentially depending on what cards I had, I might not be able to go on here. But actually, in retrospect, I could have. But never mind. Never mind. So whatever that Galatz is, you're getting that free. Oh well, I wouldn't have got there anyway. So
Right.
if my horse economy is not gonna work for me, then
And again, that's the other side to the rumor. I could have put rumor that I could have had that. It was whatever. For example, if it was a hoax, I could have put rumor token on it
Hmm.
just to try and get your guys to at least get there. But it moves them out of the way and it frees up space for Dracula to then go by. So it can be used as a decoy,
Yeah.
as well as getting the points. So yeah, I think it's don't it doesn't lower the level of enjoyment if I play them or not. The games come down to the opponent that you're playing and how that's where the game's fun. The games you and I play, it comes down to know 3 health points between Hunter and Dracula, and it's 1 day to go, whatever. Those are the games you want.
Yeah. But
Don't want
then,
the games where it's right, they leave from the Black Sea and they land in the North Atlantic and you just can't get to them. It's
yeah,
like, well, and not that it's a bad thing. I mean, that's part of the game. They've played the game well enough
to get that into that
to allow
position.
them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go, well, that's not really fair. I mean, it is, everything's fair. It's just if you haven't played it well, and that's on you. You've just got to take accountability for it and move on from that. There's not one's fairer than the other. If you start going down that route, then you can say, well, it's 400s against one before we even roll a
Yeah.
dice. So
And
let's
then,
not get involved in that.
yeah, and he's going to say, oh well, CG's unfair, so get rid of that. This is unfair, get rid of that. You just tear everything apart then if you start doing that.
Yeah. It's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's a simulation. It's a game to enjoy with others that like it. It's putting your brain to a test. It's not a game where, I mean, you've got to focus on it. I mean, there's nights I've played or times I've played where I really shouldn't have because I was either tired and you lose. You've got to be on point every game, and even then, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're playing against, like, if I'm playing against you, I know, like, if I make one mistake, I could lose from it. Depends on how crucial the mistake is. If I start searching double vampires at night in Dublin, for example, that's just a recipe for disaster. I could, I could laugh about it now. But yeah, I don't know where that point was going, but yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, if I'm playing against you, I know I have to play well here to win. If I make less or fewer mistakes than you, I have a good chance of winning. But even then, things might just not. And I've had games before where I've had no renewed vigor and I've had no consecrated ground. I'm like, oh well, okay, the deck just wasn't working for me today. I did what I could to try and win. It didn't work. That's fine. I'm not. That's the thing. Like, yeah. At no point, like when I've been playing for the last like few months and trying to learn, at no point do I ever sit here and think, one side is OP compared to the other. I mean, maybe my bias is a bit skewed because I've won quite a lot more with hunters. But you know what I mean? Like, I could really understand though. Like, I've had games against you or other people where, as a hunter, I play like absolute crap, and then someone like you as Dracula, you just completely run over the entire game, and I cannot stop you. Or especially if I'm going wrong directions or whatever, if I'm not concentrating, it does take a lot on the skill of the individual player as well.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's what I love about it. You've got to. That's what I'm saying. The years that I played chess, you can't look away from the game because you've got to see what the opponent's doing. You've got to try and I
yeah.
like that element of this as well. You've got to preempt what the players. It's not about what they've done. This is a
Well,
very much a proactive game rather than reactionary. You've obviously there's elements where you've got to you don't run around the map until you've identified where Dracula is or get a trail. But the other side, it's a case of, well, okay, I don't want to be chasing the Drac. You want to be
trying to get
and
ahead,
get in front of him and get a net. So
but sometimes that's not possible if you've got a really difficult trail and you've not been able to supply enough or whatever, or there's rumor tokens or whatever. You sometimes just can't do that. And I've had games like that where I just feel like I'm chasing Drac the entire game. It's like, well, it's a combination of me not playing well enough for the hunters, but also Dracula doing everything that they should be doing to try and win. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Right, go on then. Show me what this thing is that matures. Put me out of my misery. What thing have I given you?
Let me see.
Now, if it's a hoax, there's only 5 things to choose from, so you're not going to be a kid in a sweet shop here. You're not going to have quite the selection.
No, no, believe me. The kid that turned up in the sweet shop's well and truly closed. In fact, it burnt down, so don't worry about that.
See the corner.
I'm a very sad Charlie.
Okay, so actually, I don't think
Cool.
I just took Rufus Smith like instinctively, and suddenly realised, now I don't know where you went from 22, so that could be a 50-50 choice. If I'm actually gonna get on the right location. This could actually turn pretty bad for me if something else matures as well. Oh, a layer. Oh, you surprised me.
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, I mean it's a layer because you'll see that I dark called on my third move, so it kind of gives you an idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'd assume it's something, gosh, but you never know. Never know. Right, let's see. Where did you go after 22? Let's roll the dice and then see. I'll make my decision from there. I think you went to 10. Ah, I guess right.
Uh,
You're just gonna make me waste a turn, aren't you?
yeah, I mean, why? Yeah, you don't unless it's reckless. Why would I ambush during the day?
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. Really? Oh, that was gash. Jeez. Ah,
For
no.
our non-Scottish viewers, would you like to explain what gash means?
Oh, that's true.
Unless you want to demonetize your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. It's not even monetized. I don't know if you know this. You need 1,000 subscribers to be monetized.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah. Oh, look. I'll show you. I've got a stake. Is it something that's a stake is useful against? Nope.
Thanks for letting me know. That's good.
That's okay. Always willing to lend a helping hand. Because clearly hunters are OP, right? So I have to reveal this information to you.
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you're
Oh,
no healing.
you are tooled up. Okay. Conventional weapons is interesting, though.
Yeah, that's the problem from that. That's the problem with me revealing that. Depends what you've left for me.
Lots of gifts.
Oh, nice. Oh, for goodness sake.
Right, so she's got a stake as well. Okay. Let's see.
No. That's something I didn't do much last night. Didn't miss. I mean, to be fair, the time when I kind of needed to misdirect, I was at sea, so misdirecting would have
Right.
given me no advantage at all. So yeah, I didn't really get good opportunities to use. I mean, I probably will. I'll probably watch the recording back and go, oh, I could have used it there and there and there. But yeah. Where are you going? Right. Oh, goodness sake, man.
Okay. Do you know, from a sadistic point of view purely, but if you'd been commentating on that game in the famous Dublin derby, that
Yep.
would have been that would have been gold commentary.
No, all it would have been, it was just basically me for like 5 minutes straight just saying, I'm not going to search this, I'm not going to search this, I'll give him 3 points, I'll just try and catch him later. Don't search it, don't search it, don't search it. They're suddenly going, oh yeah, I could totally fight 2 vampires at night. Oh yeah, this is going to go swimmingly. What a fucking idiot. Shit.
Oh. In a way, it was a bit cathartic for me because I had the same downfall when I ended up. In fact, I'm just going to stay away from Dublin for now because I had the terrible Dracula, Emmanuel Hildesheim went to Dublin and just it all went wrong from there. So,
Oh, the one with the summon storms incident, you mean?
oh, absolute
Uh, uh,
ridiculous.
uh, yeah.
I was just,
So
I was.
yeah, so for those who, 'cause obviously it wasn't recorded, I don't know, do I tell them at home what happened, or did I save you the
Yeah,
embarrassment?
feel free. I've paid my therapy. I'm fully recovered. So,
I can't remember exactly the situation, but you had quite a big lead on me, and you got, I can't remember if it was a Hopes Mature or if it was like a Night Supply, but you got a Manuel, and no, you had the choice. You had the choice of, you wanted to get Summon Storms because you had the plan to go to the UK and just drop down storms, and I'd never be able to get there in time. But you saw the shining glow of Emmanuel, and you were like, "Oh, let's go for this!" And then you didn't get your summon storms, and I managed to catch. I don't know how I managed to catch you, but I did.
it's honestly, it really was. And the thing is, what even I picked up was terrible because I got enraged and I played that at the wrong time against Seward. Then he healed, and then I was just that was me stuck. So yeah, it was really so. But all that glitters is gold, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got the right strategy, go with it. Don't be distracted by false gods.
Yeah, I had that last
It
night.
was,
Like, I got my hopes mature, and I saw Emmanuel just sitting there, like glowing, like "Hello, come and take me." And I was just like, "Well, no, because there's like 20 bloody Dracula cards in the discard deck. I'm not gonna get anything from Emmanuel. I mean, I could have discarded some really good hunter cards to be fair, but I'm not benefiting from it. I'm just hurting the hunters. So I was like, nah, I'm not taking it. But then to be fair, I got Darkness Returns and I wasted it. So yeah, didn't go swimmingly for me either. Right. Now you're a sneaky drag. Have you gone this way? Okay, that's nice. I was getting really scared. You just gone westward, just like just casually walking up westward, and I just completely went past you. That's okay. I feel a bit better now. That's fine. Because if you're sitting like 38 by now, and you're just gonna wolf form a wave, I'll be like,
yeah.
just
Well, yeah.
just
That's.
just rage quit.
Have there ever had any players rage quit on you on here?
Nope, no, I haven't.
No, me neither. Me neither. You have colourful language, but nobody's who's
Um,
gone to that stage.
Wait, what have you done? I'm gonna take like 5 minutes now to work out what the oh you've misdirected Sophia, haven't you? Yeah, okay, sorry. My brain had to just twig for 2 seconds what you've done. Okay. Okay. I was like, surely I'd reveal your trail if you got Sophia. No. Hmm.
Do you like a good misdirect?
No, it's good. It's good if you yeah. Not the first time you've done that to me either. I do have to take a few minutes sometimes to go, what has Roscoe done here? I'm missing something really obvious.
Let's see, that's... yeah, okay.
I mean, whatever this thing is maturing, unfortunately. So you're gonna get another one out of me. So um,
Mm,
that's bad hunter gameplay, not prioritizing that. Instead, I'm trying to check to make sure you haven't gone westward. So I probably shouldn't have done that. That was silly. I could have easily got to 17. So yeah, just
let me think. What do I need? Fast horses on those two. Ah, well.
you got your pencil, I.
I've got my pencil, don't you worry about that.
Good, good.
Uh, yeah, yeah. That's not... hang on.
Ah well, I had that coming. If I don't go and check that, then yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even need the rumor token. um. Okay.
I know, yeah, you found me just the day after Aristocratic Vampire went to the fourth slot. I was like, oh no. The only time I want you to get newspaper reports early.
Yeah. Oh, how gracious. He says through gritted teeth.
When you started playing this, were you did you night supply more than you do now? Is it a kind of... I think when I started playing, if it's just a
Uh,
thing that I always do, or...
no. I think because I watched Tabletop and I saw. You know where it was? I watched Tabletop and they were night supplying, and the events that Dracula was getting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sit here and work out what you've done again. How do you not go to?
Hmm.
Wait, what? You went to 10, 17. Oh, well, I'll work out eventually. my wee brain's not working today. Oh well, okay, none of that. No, I didn't. I think because when I used to, I played the tabletop version. I played as Dracula because for some reason in my head I was like, oh, it's the more difficult role because you're not the one you're having to play to not get caught kind of thing. I didn't realize at that time how difficult the hunters were. So because of that, I was almost like trying to like egg them on. Yeah, yeah, night supply, go on then, give me these good events. And then they did, and I saw how powerful they were. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this as the hunters. So no, I didn't. I did do it at times, but it was purely accidental. Or like I'd be sitting there going, I need to get items or I need to get events, and then Dracula would get a card. But no, that wasn't a habit I had to break. I don't think I did, if I remember correctly. I think also, if I remember, I think my first 3 games were all as Drac, and I watched also like I think I played 2 against Mr. Green and 1 against you, and
Right.
I saw you weren't Night Supply, and then when I went into the 2v1 where Craft taught me, um, I think he made it obviously quite clear to me, don't Night Supply, do this. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think. Oh, maybe you don't remember. Maybe, but yeah, that, as you said, Warcraft was my Yoda because I remember him and I went into a game against Mr. Green, and I remember like you were like on the Discord having the conversation, and we must have said, "Oh, do you want to come and join us or whatever?" And I think you said no because a 3v1 would take too long or something. So um, maybe you don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember playing you when you joined and kind of when if you want to, are you aware about this? Do you know how to do that? And kind of taking them as more sort of tutorial, which I don't, me, that's better for everyone to be at an even playing ground than somebody, inviting a beginner and then just destroying them. You risk losing them
Yeah,
as a player. It's not fun for them. It's better to say, look, if you're not aware of this, but as you've seen some comments that I've made, I think, there's a certain point where teach a man to fish instead of just tell them how to do it every game. And if they don't, then
yeah,
it's like, well, that's on you. Now we're playing at a level where, I mean, I always play to win, as you know,
yeah.
but if they're never, if they're not going to learn the stuff themselves, then it's like, right, well, okay, we might have to start drawing you a bit.
Hmm.
Again, it's no fun for anybody. It's 2 hours of all our time, and you want it to be enjoyable. And you know, it's not about who's better, who's not. But if somebody's not if they don't want to earn it or to take the time themselves or do, I mean, some people come on and haven't even played the AI, and I'll say to them, look, go and play the AI first.
Yeah,
Then come, you don't want to just jump in against. I think you'd made a good point in saying to them, the level of various players on here, depending who you get, if if you've never played it, you're going to be lost, very quickly.
yeah, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on what type of player it is. If it's a player who is like really open about it and says, "I'm new, but I want to learn," I'll be like, "Okay, I'm happy to jump into a game with you and take my time and teach you."
Sure.
But then obviously if it's a player that comes along and says, "Oh no, I know what I'm doing," I'm like, "Okay," and then they start just like doing random stuff which is not optimal. I'll be like, I don't know, it's not the most fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We all learn from the beginning, so it's everyone, we were all in the same boat for this. So, but
Yeah,
again, I know the time I put into it to learn all the aspects. So and I get not everyone's the same, but it's like, well, if I'm going to play a game properly, I may as well go in 100% instead of 50.
indeed, indeed.
I do admit now, I get a buzz when I do get a night supply and it's a VAM card. I'm like, yes, this is great. Then it's something useless like sensationalist press. You're like, oh well.
Yeah. Right, what have you done? I'm trying to work out what on earth you did here. You went from 10 to 17. That thing matured and 3 things got cleared. The misdirect was 2 after 17, so you went 56, 50. Then you didn't go to 46, so... Oh, 3 things got cleared. Ah, you went 56, 49, then 55.
Who knows?
I'm very confused what you've done. That's it. Is that not impossible? Obviously, clearly not. Clearly not. I'm missing something really obvious.
No, do you know what? I'll divulge this. I don't know if it's a bug that's not in here. Well, it's not a bug,
I don't
but
look. I've counted correctly, right? You went to 17. That was a vampire. It matures. It clears 3 things off the trail. So you had 56. 50 wasn't on the trail, I assume, because you misdirected it.
yes.
Yeah, so you had 56, 50. You, I was in 46 just now with Mina, right? Am I misremembering? Did I go from 50 to 55? Oh dear.
No, you were. Yeah, you were in Sari. You were in Salonika with there.
Right,
You're
so
on the
it's
right. You're on the right path. But what happened was because
50
it's
was.
it's. Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I'll just divulge. So I went. You're right. I did there. Misdirected 50. I was in 46, but then I
Yeah.
hid. So when 17 matured, it took the first card, but the card that's left is the hide card.
Oh, and
Which
because
when you land on is it doesn't reveal because it's hide, but it
I,
won't. So
I suddenly that popped into my head like a minute ago, but I was suddenly like, is that how hide works? Ah, I'd never thought about it. Yeah, because if you walk on a 46 and the hide gets flipped, I never even considered the possibility that the hide would be left on the trail. That happened to me last night, but the hide was already revealed.
right, okay.
I've never had it where the hide's not been revealed. So that thing that's before Valona is a hide then. Ah.
I mean, I don't know if that's a bug or if that's how it should be. I know that obviously, but then it makes sense. But then again, if it matures, it says that when the card next to hide is revealed, but it's not being revealed, it's been
It's been wiped because something else before it's
so
been matured.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've had that before. I think I can't remember what it was. I had that before, and that's when I found out about it. And it stayed on there. But like you, hunters were like, "Well, we've covered everything. Nothing's been revealed." So
Ah.
they just, and obviously they're not going to search anywhere because there's nothing to search. So it just becomes redundant. So rather than me, oh, what could it be? And it's never going to mature. That's what happened. So the thing is now is I get my misdirect back. So
That is true. That is true.
okay, what are we looking at here? What do we have? Okay.
Well, there's also that thing too, the aspect of the game. Like, there's so many little interactions with this game where I've only played tabletop twice, so I'm not gonna see all those interactions in 2 games. So it's just you get a bit
Yeah.
spooked sometimes by just some of the things. That's
Yeah.
it makes
It
it good
was.
though.
It honestly, I mean, it's a fantastic game. I wouldn't have sadly or whatever put as many hours into it as I've just realised. But it's do it because every game's different because there's never a set. All you'll get certain set startups and various things, but every game's different because again people play differently. So you're like, oh, I didn't expect. Oh, right, they've done, and when you try and always expect the unexpected, you can have an opponent that does something erratic, and you're like, well, I wouldn't have thought. Why would they do that? And then all of a sudden you're like, what do they know? I don't know. You know.
Mm,
Yeah, it was a game I played a while back. Well, I won't divulge names on here. I'm not going to say that. But there was a game I played with somebody who's relatively new, and they jumped on Drac with Van Helsing, who had no conventional weapons,
ah,
and I just thrown wolves down. So they got 4 damage with that. Then they entered a fight, and I had bodyguards as my ally.
yeah.
I just that was it, killed them. And they were like, I go, what happened there? Why? What?
Mm,
Because again, a lot of the time, especially with people starting, the two at the top, the in-play cards and the layers are two that kind of get missed. Everyone's looking
yes.
at the trail, and every round I'll click on layers and play cards if I'm hunters, because it's like, right, has Dracula deleted a layer from the last one? Is that where he's going? Or is he just leaving them up there? But as a matter of course, I'll check them. I've managed to get past hunters by clearing layers that they haven't checked, and all of a sudden it opens up 2 or 3 paths.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, you know me. I've got a very healthy habit of just walking into your layers because sometimes I don't check them either. Much to your amusement. I think there's one. I think the worst one. Oh, really? Again? Like, piss off. There's that one time where you just. I mean, yeah, that was probably my worst performance ever, and I'm kind of happy it was not recorded. Where you put the new vampire in Venice as a layer, and I walked
Oh,
onto it. He's like, I'm not going to put these vampires on the trail. I'm just going to put them as a layer because I just know he's going to walk over them.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
It was, yeah.
that was good. You know what? I don't want you to get a heal.
Oh, god damn it. Right, okay, well, she's got.
And I've got Rufus Smith, remember?
Yes, I know you always got Rufus Bloody Smith.
I did last night. Last night would have been. Oh, not last night. Yeah, last. No. No, it was the game that was off camera, which I lost. We went from. My opponent went from Ionian all the way to North Sea. Just because he could. Because I no Rufus Smith. I'm like, where are you when you need? I need you. Ah, and he went the long way. He went via English Channel. He didn't go North Sea, North Atlantic North Sea. He went via English Channel to North Sea. That's like two to
Oh,
enter, three,
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Ah, yeah.
Yeah. I was watching, yeah, that game I saw last night when you, with the, the obvious move, when you when you left Nons and went to the North Atlantic, then moved. I thought, I wonder if he's gone Irish Sea, because I think he then moved Van Helsing to the English Channel, and Seward was blocked with fog in Nons, and I thought, has he gone Irish Sea and then, or has he gone North Sea, English Channel till you're going to stay in the UK?
Mm-hmm.
Because those three, the English Channel especially, is quite a sneaky channel that
It is.
people don't really use. It's a nice little. You move three seas and be, you go North Sea, English Channel, North Atlantic, Irish, and in the UK. If they haven't got money trail, then obviously the first thing you would assume is, oh, it must be a way down in the Tyrrhenian.
Yeah, and I did it in such a way like I played a really dicey move playing the Fog in Nantes. Unfortunately, didn't have forewarned on the right person, and then I did the Dark Call. That Dark Call was not to get any encounter that I wanted, is so that I could delay my sea move one turn, so the med would be coming off the trail in time.
Ah,
So
good
then
move, yeah.
Hunter didn't know, am I going north or south? And in the end,
Hmm.
I still went south again. I mean, again, I was toying for so long. Like, do I go to North Sea here? I was like, no, surely Mediterranean's a safe play because he's going to have to dedicate hunters to England, right? Surely he has to do that. But then he has bloody chartered carriage, and I was sitting there like a absolute fool, sitting there going, "Ooh, Godalming's just sitting there in Paris doing absolutely f all. Like, what's he gonna do doing there?" And then I just see the chartered carriage. I'm like, well, shit.
Oh no,
that,
yeah.
that's
There's
that
nothing you hate.
that's me done. And then
Yeah, because I was convinced when I saw you down there. I thought he's gone Cagliari because, like you said I think I'm right. Hyde would drop off when you would have fed, so you could have fed, then hid,
yeah,
then gone again, and then Wool formed wherever you wanted to go with there. But yeah, as soon as he did the Van Helsing trade to Godalming, it's like, oh, that'll be heroic leap then.
yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I think I even typed in chat. I know what's coming here.
Oh,
I've had this happen to me before.
I think there's about, I don't know, 2 or 3 games you've beaten me with heroic leap.
That probably sounds right. Yeah, I've had heroic leap quite a few times actually. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. back to talking about the sea travel, and there's players that have got the opinion that it's OP for Drac, but bear in mind that A, it's free damage for the hunters. B, he
Okay.
isn't. If the trail's clear, he's not laying anything down, so it just
Yeah.
allows hunters to move
And
strategically to be somewhere near him.
yeah, or supply, so then they've got free time to get those items back
Yeah.
up or whatever. So yeah, I'm not. At no point I've ever thought that it's OP. Quite the opposite almost. As Dracula, I kind of wish sometimes I don't want to go to sea here. Sometimes yeah, it is very powerful, but I wouldn't say OP. I don't think it's.
No.
Hmm. Do you do you need to misdirect that?
Do well.
I mean,
Can't really
if
answer that because it will give away what I'm doing. But
I
yeah, it's
mean,
something I didn't realise
but
is
like, but if you can still wolf form over Valona, no? You don't have to just direct it, do you?
when it's on the trail.
Yeah, but you can wolf form over your own trail, right?
Up from sea to land, no. I don't know if that was a bug in the game, but that was something that happened. You can't, as I'm aware. There's been a time where I've tried to go, I'll just rule form, and it came up saying it didn't allow me to. Again, I don't know if that's a bug.
Really? Okay. That's not how. Instinctively, that's not. I mean, I've never tried that interaction, but that's not how I would interpret that. But okay.
It's the same as the trail. If it's on the land and you try and cross it, you can't rule form across it if it's on the trail.
Really? But that's not the intention, right?
Don't see again. I don't know. Rule form, you would think you'd
You can wolf form over your own
be able to just
trail.
pass every bean because you're not ending there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But again, I don't know. I don't know if that was a bug or I may be completely wrong. But
Hmm. A nice card, not really what I want right now. Funny that.
seems ominous. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Not keeping blood transfusion. You're crazy, man.
I know. OP card.
Oh, what? I can't remember if I'd said to you once. I'd messaged Tom from Nomad to say, is there a way? Was that a kind of Mortal Kombat tournament thing that players play other opponents of a similar rank?
Hmm.
Just to, because there's been players that I've seen that would come on, much like everyone, you get into it, you go, I love this game, but they lost 10 in a row, and they just, oh, there's no fun anymore. They just leave the game, which is a shame. If you're playing somebody of a similar level, they say obviously it's a complicated mechanic they can't do, which is fair enough. But I thought if you had that option, because you've got the rank and you've got the leaderboard and things, you could kind of say, well, that way you're not getting somebody up against somebody else, or if there's opponents that don't want to take the time with a newbie, they might go, oh no, I'm just going to destroy you. Then it's no fun for anybody.
Hmm.
Nah, they weren't able to do it, but I guess it means that they've got to learn how to play the game. It forces them to learn it.
Sure.
Okay, let's see.
I had that idea like a little while ago. I don't know if obviously it would take a little bit of like organization or something, but like we could do like a mini like league like ourselves
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
have like a, I don't know how you do like a point system, or like just do it based upon wins, I guess. But like you could do it like home and away. But it's not home and away. You play one match on Dracula, one match on his hunters, and
Hmm?
just have like a little round robin of us doing it.
Yeah, I think that would be feasible because then you're only playing one game each, so you can just pre-book, when you're playing it,
Yeah, and you can do it
and
like say like once a week you play once. Then there's not like people are getting really far ahead. You can play like
yeah,
almost like the football where you've got like a match depending on how many people there are, like one match per weekend or something. Um,
yeah, yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? It would give a bit of added competition to the game.
oh, where art thou, events? Where art thou? Yeah, it's not really what I want right now. I'm kind of concerned. Yeah, should we just moving and dialing up? I don't know what I'm doing here. I was going to psychic bomb the east at one point, and I was just like, I'm not going to do it now. I've probably given you far too much time. I've left you like this massive gaping hole that you're just walking out. I don't know where you're going though. I've got my hunches, but hmm. Oh, it's night to play. I was wondering like, what? Why is this? I thought it was your turn. Oh yeah, I don't remember doing my night turn. There's nothing really I want to do. Not really. It's just always the way. I need to find you. I need to actually find you.
Okay. So we saw, I posted something on the general Discord. There's if it's past or if it's coming up, maybe this weekend. It's in Whitby. It's the national, or I don't know, some expo where everyone dresses as Dracula and descends on Whitby.
Oh, is that?
Um,
I think I saw the news article. Was that from like last year's article or like 2 years ago when like
no, no,
during
I
lockdown?
posted it.
No. But like, wasn't there another article about that at some point, or maybe it's a different one? There's like a Dracula event and like during lockdown or whatever, or there's like
Oh,
this
right,
year's.
okay.
Maybe I don't remember. So yeah, so there's a this is for this year's event.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, 20. It might be some date. I think it might be this Saturday or something. But anyway, yeah, it was about it's like a trying to break a record of the most people dressed as Dracula. So
Ah, you know what? Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
quite funny because obviously Nomad, I don't know if you know, are based in the UK.
Oh, actually, oh, are they? I didn't realize.
Yeah. So Tom, the ancient one, I said, "Oh, I might attend that. It's only a couple hours from me." I thought I might attend it. It's only a couple hours from me. I said we should go dress as hunters just to really ruin the party.
Yeah, can you imagine? Which that's a question. Which one would you turn up as then?
As which hunter?
Yeah.
Uh, I could be Emily Howard from Little Bread. I could be anybody. No, I always liked Quincy. I'd probably just go as Quincy. I liked that character in the book. Probably closer to the age of Van Helsing, but we shouldn't typecast. Right, okay, let's see. This needs to. Yeah.
For some reason on my phone the general Discord is not updating. My Discord's a little bit erratic with
Oh,
notifications or
really?
whatever. Hmm. Alright. Where are you going? I need to actually try and find you now. And oh, that was not. I mean, yeah, you couldn't have misdirected that, but okay, nice. You're actually using it. Okay, let's see if I can actually stop it. Hmm. I feel like I feel like I need to use this now. I need to try and find you.
Oh, right, okay. Here come the big guns.
I mean, depends if I go in the right direction or not. That's the question. I actually draw well as well. Right. Oh, for pity's sake. Oh, hello.
Damn it! I wanted you to draw two.
I mean, if I drew two,
Um,
I was going to Rome.
yeah, that's what I was hoping. Oh well, right, let's see.
I mean, the only good thing for you is it's not going to be any worse than a 2v1.
Yeah. Yes, I know, but you say that, but you'll
But
draw HL out of a bag or something.
uh,
Heavenly hosts throwing them like hand grenades all over the place.
oh, if I have CG now, you are absolute toast.
Yeah, there's that card too. Right enough. Yeah, I forgot about the third of the Holy Trilogy. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's see. This is where it becomes a funny. You click that very quick to make me think. Did you hit escape? Let's see. We'll just use that and see.
Ah, of course you did. No, I should have dodged. Oh well. Yeah, 4 damage. It could have been worse. So, wow, could have been a lot better. I just assumed you'd play plotting second. That's why I went for the punch. I didn't want to dodge, and then you plotted against it.
Yeah, I was trying to think there. If you pressed it quick to make me think you escaped, but you dodged, and I was like, oh, I might do plotting, but fair, in the situation you're in, you want to get away from there so you can focus on
Yeah, exactly.
the main man. So Van Helsing doesn't have fast horses, and if he had bad tickets, oh, he has got fast horses. That's good.
Oh, I'm a tool. I'm an absolute tool. I should have supplied, because Florence is a fucking small city. Dumb. Very, very, very dumb. How not to play the hunters? Oh, you absolute twat. Aye. Right, go on then. Round 2.
Is he stepping in? Is Van Helsing stepping into the ring? It is. Right, what's the old man got? One item. Okay. Very interesting. Let's try this. Okay. God damn it. I don't know if it was you I was speaking to about it was, my apologies. I was saying about talking about the combat aspect of it. You know, it was one of those where do they make it more like, Dracula can choose his cards for the battle, that's your hand, because I hear a lot on, especially Quincy's channel, when the hunter, he's going, well, he'll just play claws now. But it's like, well, if you don't pull claws, you're really up against you draw, which again is the rest of the game. But you're like, oh, if I had this, like, 2 escapes, I missed, and 2 plotting, and you're like, well,
Yeah, but like, what am I going to do
she's
now?
gonna die.
Especially if you're against 4 hunters, that's the worst situation. If you're against
Oh,
4 hunters and maybe one of them might just be in the position to die, it's like, oh, I could get him, and then you just look at your hand, you're like, well, this is just gosh. I'll use that word again. But
yeah, it's but again, it is what it is. You play what you're given. Try and escape, or did you? Oh, you did. Okay, well, stay one more.
I don't wanna. I just want to leave. That's why I could just leave me be.
You're the one that came knocking at the door. Could have gone any other city, but you decided to jump on, and you want to run away.
I see the fast horses deck wanted me to go there. You see.
Dracula's expanding his animal allies. Oh,
Yeah, for
those
once.
and bats and rats are nice. Let's try the equestrian.
Yeah, for once it actually worked against you. If you were trying to rig the deck, there's like the one time you don't want me to draw one.
Right.
Wait,
Okay.
I'll tell you now. If I drew a 2, I would have just gone to Rome. So I just assumed you were going to be hiding. None of that.
Yeah. There's been some great games where fast horses can play against them. If hunters get 2, typically they'll use all 2. Or hunters go right past me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is nervous, and they just go right past, and they just move away, misdirect, and they're like, wait, what?
Where did he go? Yeah. It was like in the game last night where Warcraft used Sense of Emergency with Van Helsing and just jumped straight over me. I'm like, yes, there you go.
Wow.
And then Mina draws a 2 with fast horses or whatever it was, and I was like, well, I think you're going to find me now, aren't you? I almost killed her. Again, that was another thing. If that fight had gone different, I don't know if you saw that fight, maybe you think you joined just after. She was on 5 HP because of other shenanigans going on.
Right.
And then I just did a claws. I just assumed that he would try to punch to stop my mesmerize, and they escaped. She escaped and was left on 1 health. I was like, damn, I missed a good opportunity to get her there.
Yeah, I think I joined you where Clermont-Ferrand was revealed, but I think you'd
Yeah,
already moved to Nantes.
that was just after that fight that you joined. Yeah, so
Right.
you missed absolute like just shenanigans with like newspapers not appearing and just
That'll be.
me.
I look forward to that one. That'll be a good. That'll be a good one to watch.
I'm thinking what I'm probably gonna do because that one's gonna come out like mid-July because I'm still doing my 1 week upload per week. I probably will just tag this one like at the same time because this has got a very different vibe to my normal games, and obviously we're taking our time doing things. So I might just release it
Yeah.
as an additional one. So then, and it's also then relevant because obviously we're talking about things that happen in that game, so it makes sense that then it follows.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good idea. It'll be good because then it's got the one where you and I played as hunters together. That first one you've recorded where you've played as a team.
Yeah, the first recording as a team. Yeah.
I said that'll be a good one to watch because that's always a different dynamic when it's a teams as well.
Indeed, yeah. Have you picked your card, by the way, or has this crashed on us?
Oh, well, mine is waiting for Van Helsing to pick.
Ah, bollocks. Okay.
You not chosen, right? Okay, let me. You wait there. I'll just jump out and come back in.
I think I chose it too quickly. Damn.
Hang on, stay there. I'll just be back in a moment. Let me just get out of here.
Ooh, replace Roscoe with an AI. Oh, this is tempting.
Very dare you. Very dare you, sir.
I clicked no. Is that the correct option?
No, you clicked yes, and now you're like, quick, jump on him. Everyone. I come back. I'm like, I'm here. Oh, hang on. What happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. By the time you rejoined, I played double planned ambush and heroic leap and consecrated ground. Sorry. GG.
Just a pile of dust on the floor. I was like, oh, okay.
Ah.
Right, okay. I'm rejoining now. Although, to be fair, 2-on-1, depending on what you guys have, it may well end like that anyways.
I can't remember how much health you have. You're probably like, what, 10 health-ish? Oh no, you would have fed before you went to sea, so you took 4 damage from sea plus, yeah, 10 health.
Yeah.
Right, let me know.
Here we go. Right, okay, now I'm in combat. It's now just started oh yeah, it's fine, we're back in, because you've picked your card, that's it. Great.
Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah.
Oh, hang on, it's catching up. I played strength. Alright, that was our first...
Oh, you actually have to go through all the rounds, don't you? Yeah.
Well, I'm on round 3, it shows here. Did you play dodge?
Yep, I played dodge on round 3.
So you're on round 4 now on your screen, yeah?
Yeah, I played my card. Yeah, I played it too quick, that was my fault. I know that was a bug, and I just, yeah. It's doing 3 rounds.
That's fine, so that's fine. I'm waiting for your turn now on round 4, that's fine.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be annoying if we've been chatting for like 2 hours and it's suddenly like game's like, nope, sorry.
Shit.
I might actually have to get the YouTube edit function out to actually edit this video then, if that's the case.
So wait, have you chosen now in round 4?
Yeah.
Right, well, let's still go back to the same...
Right, okay, I think I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Try it that way. So, yeah, this is not gonna take too long. I'll give it a minute before I rejoin, just so it maybe sorts That's
itself
interesting. It came up saying left and may be replaced by an AI, but it didn't give me the option to say yes or no. It's just not selected one for you.
Huh. Interesting.
Because you're the host of the game, maybe?
Maybe, but I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't be a problem.
Strange one.
Maybe it is.
Okay.
Right, let's see. Okay, right. I've gone into combat. Let's see. Okay, so it's doing round 3. Cards have been chosen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a weird interaction I've noticed. You know where you got Van Helsing's like combat circle? Okay, now I can pick my card now. You see Van Helsing's combat circle. Normally for hunters they're white, but for some characters they change color to like the sort of like purpley, what do you call it, like violety brown type color.
All
What
right.
what what is that? What is that interaction?
I've never noticed that, mate. It's the first on me.
Because it's not all the time, and it changes between the characters. I'm not quite sure what.
Does it change darker the more Fury of Dracula is in the panel?
Oh,
When it
maybe.
gets darker, the more influence Dracula has.
Oh, maybe. Oh, that's a shout. Okay, I picked my card, by the way.
There's two on there, and it's kind of so if it went, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it changed. With that, because I know otherwise with the map it gets blurred at the edges the closer it
Yes.
gets to the the madness and all that. So it might have something to do with it's a great little subtle if that's what they've done, but that might be so yeah, we need to check if all your hunters have got that same colour behind them now.
Can you pick your card or not? Is
No,
it?
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of right. Let me see. What did you play last? Dodge. Right, okay.
Yeah. Ah, but it is your turn to pick, right? It's working.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I've
fine.
just picked mine.
That's what I want to know. That's fine.
We're back on track. We're back on track.
Oh well, okay. You got your 2 damage on me. I couldn't have avoided that 2 damage.
You didn't use your weapon though, which
Ooh,
makes me think it's.
who says it's a weapon, eh?
Well, the cards in your hand show four, so it is one of them. Yeah, let's class HH as a weapon, okay?
Oh, okay. There's no
A
conventional weapon.
conventional weapon. No, it's a spiritual weapon.
And okay, I can't. Well, what do? Ugh, I can't see Seward's bloody hand doing this. Do I heal with Van Helsing? My gut tells me yes, but I won't.
Yes, that's the best one.
Ooh, decisions.
Oh,
Ah, you hid in Rome, you cheeky sod.
it might not get to it that far, to be fair. I think what you threw up here. Yep, there's one. You got another one? Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know. Who's got it? Van Helsing's got planned ambush, right? Okay.
He
Oh
does.
well, so right.
He does, yes.
Jesus Christ. Holy host, then,
Uh,
I had more health. I'd try my plotting move on Van Helsing just to force out the because that's quite good for the planned ambush. I
yeah.
played that in you before, didn't I? I played It was that, and it was either you played that or wrist using the.
Yeah, I don't remember. Possibly.
Yeah.
I
Okay, well, in Jesus Christ, this is.
I just find HH just to be such a curse sometimes. I always play at the wrong time. Always. Even in the game against you, we had recently where I had Godalming and Mina had Heavenly Host, and I played them at the. I got Mina's off, but then you still use Fags against bloody. What's it
Oh
called?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very annoying. Just do it to Seward. You know you want to.
I'm just thinking though. I don't think you can't play your planned ambush on this move. It's just you take the damage as Van Helsing.
Well, oh yeah. Like I don't think I can. No, I can't block the second
Well, you
half
can't block it, no.
because
So you take.
I'm not the engaged hunter. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, nah. Need to try and get rid of one. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. There it comes. I can hear him. His bottle at the holy font. Great if you haven't got it. It'd be fantastic. But oh yeah. Oh okay. Oh. Okay, so the problem is now Seward might have it. Okay. Yeah, this could be very bad actually. Jesus, I mean. Well, let's see.
No, what have you chosen?
Oh, you got great strength. Oh bollocks!
Sorry.
You.
You were right. I did. I had it. I had heavily host on Seward. Yep.
Shame Drac can't get a resurrection card. Bats come and fly him away somewhere. Oh, yeah. I didn't even. Do you know what? So that hand there, I had 2 plotting, a strength, a mesmerize, and escape as bat.
So 2 plotting, escape as bat. What was the other one? Mesmerize and the last one?
And the strength.
Oh, the strength. So yeah, you didn't have fags in the end. Oh well.
Had nothing to. No, even claws. I was going to target Seward because I knew that Van Helsing only had the basic 3. Just didn't have the cards to. Because claws would have killed him because it would have taken the first 2.
Yep.
The second 2 would have counted. So
yeah, that's the thing with great strength. I just had to hope. Ooh, I hope you don't have second claws, otherwise great strength would be useless in that situation. So
yeah.
Oh.
That was good though. That was a good.
Yeah, interesting.
Good case.
Yeah, definitely a different vibe to previous videos where we're going like really intense 1v1. But it was good though, and yeah. I don't know if we talked as much about the game and like strategies and rumor tokens and stuff as I thought. I don't know what to expect, but no, it's a good chat anyway. And I don't know, how do you feel about it? Like, do you think? I mean, obviously, if you did get that aristocratic tour with rumor tokens, then it would put me in a slightly more precarious position potentially.
Yeah, I think.
I think it's difficult
so that would
one
have
game. It's very probably
3
difficult after
more.
one
I mean,
game.
to be fair. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think I kind of, I took the wrong move where that's my only concern about starting on the Far East, on where you are, is that any position you're going towards the hunters unless you go to sea.
Yeah.
You pull Rufus, it's like, right, well, that's sea travel restricted. and yeah, it was a case of, to be fair, the cards I'd laid down, because the thing is, you would never have searched, if you'd searched Lonica, Hyde would have gone off, and you would have had to face what was there. I put down a new vampire.
Ah,
You were never going to check it because it never flagged up as me being there, so it was just a redundant,
redundant thing. Yeah, so you
I
lost
was
it.
divulged it rather than just say, well, let's hope you find something. But the only, yeah, the Wolf to Rome, and I thought, right, I could stay there, stay along, get across there, and then go to sea again. But by then you had Van Helsing and Seward kind of in place, and the fast horses on those three. That's the fast horses do make this game a hell of a lot.
Indeed,
Yes,
yeah.
for Drac.
Yeah, especially with I mean I can divulge it now. I had both my renewed vigors, so I was
Right.
like,
Okay.
so that's why I didn't feel quite so bad using it on that turn. Next, like, well, I have another one reserved if I need to use it. I did have another
Yeah.
excellent weather, um, so um,
The only one I was going to consider, but again, this is when you. I think I've done it a couple of times. It is risky, but I was going to go from from Ionian up to the Black Sea. When
mm,
you were there, and that's why I misdirected Valona. I was going to wolf form to Constanta. You didn't do the search psychic bond with Mina. Moved Godalming to here, and then moved him away. So I could have done the whole land in Constanta and just moved around up there when you left.
yes, and I did realize that's why I was kind of like keeping Mina and Godalming there, but in the end I didn't actually do what I
Oh,
wanted to do, which actually was to get them just to meet up, stay put, and psychic bond. And as soon as I rule out the east, then I just keep going on my way west. So yeah, that could have actually turned out quite bad for me because the way you played your cards, you could have gone like 1756 and then just stayed put, and then I would have left if I didn't psychic bond. So yeah, you could have been
yeah, that was the thing. I thought, do I do it? But then I've been caught with that before. I've done that where I've left and that I've sneaked round. You've got to hope they don't have money trail. If they don't, great. On two C's from my audience. So really, most people would like look at it as you've either gone Adriatic or Turanian. That kind of focuses people to kind of go down that way. But then if I land in Constanta acts against it, at least if you go Adriatic, you have got a Turanian to escape to if it gets too
yeah.
hot.
I assume that did you go Ionian Adriatic and then Wolf Form to Rome, right? You didn't go Turidian.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I know the other technique that is quite. If you somehow end up in the Mediterranean or Tyrrhenian, you can go into Italy like that way, and then get to Venice. Is it Venice? Yeah, Venice, and they can go into Adriatic and escape that way. But just because I had hunters in the
That's right.
east side, so it wouldn't have been ideal, maybe. Um,
I was wanting to land where that's what I thought about it. And again, that's just on me as to whether I took the bet or not. But then it's like, well, it could have gone that way, and it would have meant that your guys. I mean, it's all academic now, but you had your renewed vigors and fast horses, so you could have got to me if you'd found me. But by that time, you would have searched because as soon as you'd gone down and searched Rome, out from Sewer that I wasn't there, and then it was like, oh right, you must have gone to. So
yeah, but
it's
then,
6.5, but
but would would if Sword had jumped over you and gone to Rogue, would Hive then? I would have realised you were in 20, but well, probably or you might have been in Naples, but I would have ruled that out quicker. It's like, would I have really moved Van Helsing on a 1v1 with Drac? Probably not. So I would have then been trying to block with Van Helsing a little bit and try and send you sort of like away from Marseille and up like the northern part. Um, and have
Seward have
Godalming.
forewarned on him. Do you remember?
I had a forewarned, but it was on Van Helsing. If I remember correctly, I traded it. I think it was on Mina or Godalming, and I traded it to Van Helsing because I didn't know who would need it.
Right. So
Since
I put Fog down first and Rome, and and
right.
then the Hyde card was another new vampire. So I was just going to trap and then attack.
Yeah, no, if I remember correctly, no, it was Van Helsing had the forewarned,
Okay,
not.
so that would have probably given me a better chance. Yeah, it's the way it goes, isn't it? That's what it's all about. It's
Yeah,
choices that you make, and directions are good when they come off, and sometimes, yeah, it's a risk that you take, isn't it?
definitely. It was like me last night, just will fool me to Genoa. Cause it's like, well, surely this is the best move to make. Because I had the same intention, like, oh, I'll go to Genoa. If I had fog there, I will feed. I can then move to, or maybe not, depending on if the hunter's closing quickly. I can maybe go to Venice and then escape to the Adriatic, and then I just land in the east, and then I win, and they won't be able to catch me in time. Even with excellent weather, I don't think they would be able to. Um, but it just, yeah, didn't end up that way. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, strategy wise, I think you'd asked me earlier in Disco about whether strategies change. I mean, the strategies, my strategy is pretty fluid because it's based on the opponents that you play. You know, you've got to adapt that. You can't stick to your way because you just play into their hands. So one thing I've never been. I know a couple of the guys on the Discord are, and I keep contemplating it, but I've never been a kind of aggressive vampire as to, Dracula as to going in for the kill before they supply, and risk. I guess Godalming's the best one. I think I've done it once from memory. I think I did it once where I was in Van Helsing was in the UK. Other guys were in the usual down in Madrid and across in Munich or what have you. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take out Van Helsing because undeniably he's one of the most powerful. He just trades the cards you need.
Mm-hmm.
If I take him out and you get points on there, but then it's a case of, well, then you're found, then you're trapped on an island.
Yeah.
And he then goes to Madrid, which then means that you can just start stocking up with Seward. I thought I might ideally do I want to take out Seward, who's probably can hold the most, but if you can attack him, he's the furthest away from the other three to even get to. Plus Spain, you can get out of quick. So I've always been more of a in the hunters or kind of splitting them up so it's only one on one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might try it. I might try a more.
I've always been
Games, I might
tempted.
just go batshit crazy and just have Drac jumping on folk and see what happens. I don't think it would end well, but I could see why it would stop early supplies.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only time I've been like a really aggressive drag is when it ended up like when I won't obviously say any names, but when I'm against like newer players and then they are just night supplying and giving me lots of free stuff. I had one, I can't remember who it was I was against, but I ended up being able to use wild horses against them, and then as I said yes to play it, I suddenly realized, oh, they've got like 4 health, or whoever it was, I think it was Mina, has 4 health. I'll move her into, I think it was like a lair location or somewhere where I was hiding, and because I had rats and bodyguards, that's 4 free damage, and then they just died without, even though I was revealed, like, yeah, I'd revealed my location, it was like, well, that's another hunter that's stuck in the hospital and can't do anything. So I have been tempted to try it. I feel like against more competent hunters it won't work, but maybe it would. I don't know. It depends obviously on
I think it does.
what hand you have as well of encounters. You might not know when you set up. You might not have. That's the problem. I don't know how it works in the physical version, but like here, you have to pick your starting location before you see your encounter cards. So you could want to play something more aggressive, then you suddenly look at your hand and go, well, this isn't going to work, or whatever. So
yeah. Yeah, I think it's the same. I'm trying to remember. I think in the board, yeah, you put your first card down, and then you draw your cards.
Right, okay, so maybe I was playing that wrong. Because you see some people doing the board game version where their first location has an encounter. And I just assumed that was the rules, but clearly it's not the rule.
No, your first one's meant to. I think that's what's on that. On the Will Wheaton video, it's that. I think it's straight away and he throws an encounter card down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I'm sure because the first one is just because that's the reason why misdirect can be used on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think well that's the thing. Like probably, if you could put an encounter card on it, would you misdirect your first location? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Instinctively, the reason why I understand you use misdirect is because you want to delete the hunters. There's also that location does nothing. There's no benefit to Dracula because it has nothing that can mature. So why would Dracula want to keep it on the trail, especially at the beginning?
Yeah.
So
for that one, it's purely your, it's you start there and then you double back onto it if you want to go back there. But normally I just start somewhere and then move away from there. I do like the I did get some success. I've done it for a while actually. I think it might just be the way the cards fell, but you know, I would some damage on a layer and then not mature it and just make it into a layer and then have a bat around it
Yeah,
and
I
force them into, like you say, that kind of double combo where they get hit if they fight. If they find Drac, throw a vampire card down where I am. So they fight the vampire, then they fight me, then they get hit. And then, if I move them to another one where there's a bat, or if it's on a bat form, sorry, move them to another vampire. If it's a layer, it's got two cards on it, whatever it might be. But I have had that. I can remember there has been games where I've got Van Helsing, I think, let's just say, down to 4 damage,
mhm.
and escaped, and then the bats kicked in, and I've just pushed them back into a battle with a new vampire or something and killed them that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do like that's how I got the game I had earlier tonight when Van Helsing jumped on me and got hit with the wolves and the bodyguards. It was a double combo. But it's interesting watching how the strategies change. It kind of goes through sort of trends. There was a whole time where the first card gets played, the second card's a hide,
yeah,
and that seems to have sort of died away now. And people are more play my first card and then I'll move on to the next and move on to the next. Whereas always it was Dracula, it was a vampire, then it was saboteur. So you always kept dogs just to block the delay card. That seems to have changed now. There's not many. I mean, I don't hide as much as I used to. I used to kind of throw that down. So
I
it's more about, well, I'm trapped in one place, and if you're revealed, you're then, I'd rather have moved two separate spaces than
yeah.
stuck in one place.
Yeah, I think the thing is too then from the flip side, like as a hunter, like obviously I want to have fast horses on people, but then I'm really conscious I might need to fight a vampire or not get delayed from a hoax or whatever, so I need a stake. If I carry dogs as well, I have no weapons. So if Dracula
Weapons,
curve,
yeah.
if Dracula curves, even if they do play the hide and try to do that, if they're then curving their trail in a particular way, they can really hurt the hunters if you land on something, even something quite, normally is quite benign, like bodyguards. That's suddenly 4 damage, not 2, and then they get delayed, and then it's even more likely that that thing matures or whatever. So, um, I think that's the problem. Like, as much as I like the fast horses because you need the movement, um, you're sacrificing, an item slot which could have been dedicated to something else, which you might need to stop stuff. So it's yeah, it's the whole balancing act of like you can't carry everything. And as much as like we joke like, oh, it's like Pokemon, collect them all, like collect them all playing top trumps over here, but like you can't carry everything. You only have, apart from Seward, you got only 3 spaces. You can't carry everything, and you're gonna have to choose very carefully what you prioritize at what point. Or I have games
Yeah.
like I've had where it's Van Helsing stuck in Edinburgh, gets 3 stakes. I'm like, well, that's just great. That I can't use these. I can't use these, and then nobody else has stakes. So then trying to deal with vampires is incredibly difficult. Even something like even if it's not got a rumor token doesn't matter. They're just really annoying and hard to kill
Yeah.
sometimes. Um,
I think that's the other side, as you say, that it's a case of ending. That's what I like about the map as well, the way that's designed. It's if you've got, if Drax in Germany, France, whatever, you can get away with discarding a fast horse because there's enough rail around there
yeah,
so that you don't need. You could still get to him in time, and as you say, then I always want to have some sort of conventional weapon just to stop things annoying like rats or like Mina got damage 4 when she landed with hide just because I wanted to burn the cards, but she got 4 damage,
hmm,
and then like right, okay, so if the next one she jumped on it was bodyguards being her 4 damage,
yeah,
and then she's on 1, and then all of a sudden I would contemplate back and jumping on her and
killing.
finishing it off, but
And
I don't, and again, I think it just comes down again that your strategy, how as hunters, I always want to have conventional weapon in hand. Just again, you'd hate to have a hunter die because of rats.
yes, oh, that'd be the worst feeling. Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
go down a blaze of glory, but I get why. Here's a question: what would you do again, kind of based on the context of the game? had you only had one choice, and you could either have fast horses or a heavenly host. Which would you discard? Bear in mind how quick you can burn through a deck in a game.
Mm.
What would be your what would be your priority?
If I got them like in week one, say, and I'm having to decide what to ditch, I would ditch the heavenly host. I think instinctively, I'd probably ditch the heavenly host.
Because
Uh,
you're not expecting to have combat with Dracula in week one.
yes, I think also like heavenly host is my curse card. It never. I mean, there it did work, but a lot of times I just find it. I always play at the inopportune time, and it's more of a burden than a blessing sometimes. I think, and obviously it'd be good to have it for consecrated. But there it was useful because I stopped you healing from desecrated soul twice. Um,
Yeah,
it's
that was a
it's
big one.
it's
Yeah,
it's 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 tricky. It is very tricky. But for me, I mean, yeah, the problem is like I can't say that it's. I've never tried playing without fast horses, but the times where I've had to lose a fast horse or supplies don't work my way, it feels really awkward. Like even Mina there, like Mina didn't have fast horse. And I'm just sitting there going like, what can you do? I mean, I had excellent weather on her, so I could have moved her, but still, I'm like, I'm gonna have to waste too much time getting chartered carriage onto her, making sure she has a ticket that she can burn. It's just,
mm.
it feels awkward. I'd rather have the horses, but then again, then I'm losing combat strength by doing that. So it's
I guess so. That's it. I guess when you look at it, where I mean, for example, renewed vigor and 300s with fast horses,
yeah,
and as long as your horse economy is up to speed, I mean, that's a hell of you can pretty much cover almost coast to coast,
yeah,
and then the combat is less important because if you can get 2 or 3 hunters onto Drac,
rather than one.
you know,
Yeah,
if they've all got one weapon, probably one's got two, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, the numbers game works again.
yeah,
It's
it's
yeah, it's a tricky one, but I mean, I tend if I get fast horses, great, but I'll tend to be more. Well, let's just see. I mean, sense of emergency, chartered carriage, especially like I say, if Drax stays in Central Europe, the train lines are adequate to
mm,
fence off where he is, and then it allows you to have two weapons, which if you're going to jump on him, makes for combat a bit easier, but.
the thing I
With the game, it's just every scenario is different. You just don't know.
indeed, there's so many permutations to it. I think the thing I hate most is when, and it does happen, where you end up getting two fast horses on the same person, and you're just sitting there like, oh, now I'm going to have to try and either do I ditch the second fast horse and hope it shuffles to the top of the deck, or do I have to now try and waste time coordinating to get a trade set up, and then that could be time where Dracula's just doing wolf form and it's just going wherever the hell he wants. And you're like, well, but I need to get this, fast horses set up. And
Oh,
it's very. I think
I,
in that situation I've done it. I ended up remember one game. Was that the game that I think Quincy spectated, where I used renewed vigor to get Godalming and Seward in the
oh
same location
yes,
to
yeah.
train. I was like, and literally, I mean, I know he was probably sitting going like, what the hell is he doing, wasting like one of his best cards? I'm like, I know, but like, I have to get this trade done, otherwise I'm just gonna be burdened by this second fast horse. I need to get horses on people. That's just, I was like tunneling vision, like I need to get this horse on Godalming. Um,
And
so,
I tell you, another worse scenario is I can remember one recently where Stewart had two white ones but no fast horse, and Van Helsing had
ah,
two fast horse, and you're like, right, well, I'm going to have to burn one of the white ones because I can't get to him in time.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
And you're like, but then I can't use fast horses, and it's like,
yeah,
actually, one of them's going to be redundant, and it's like so much kind of you don't want to lose that white one, but then again, it's risky. But I mean, that game you and I played where it was a great game, and it finished with Van Helsing fighting Drac in
yeah,
Klausenberg.
yeah, yeah.
And I'd used fast horses all game with just two white ones because not because I was flippant about not finding the other, but I just couldn't find it. And I thought, well, I can't not use fast horses for fear of it because I've got them, and it's just a waste of my hand otherwise.
And
And
you're just playing like the probability games. Like, well, I know there's a white one
yeah,
there, but I'm gonna take my chances that 7 out of
and it
8 of
worked.
them is not, and it worked until
Well,
the
yeah,
one time it didn't. but it's just always the way.
Yeah, the time, yeah, exactly, yeah. The time when I could have jumped on two hunters on Drac and it was like one, oh, white one, oh well, that's that gone then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
that was more,
I've had
you don't want to be sitting and not using cards you have.
yeah, exactly. Because then what's it doing? It's I mean yes, it's good. You know it'll be useful later on, but you need it now. I've had that situation too, where you have a hunter has two white ones, and you just sit there going, I need to get fast horses. If I don't get fast horses, this character is not useless, but it's just it's not going to be useful for a
Isn't it?
huge portion of the game. It's very frustrating.
Instead of just going, right, okay, ditch the white one, I'll find it with another. I've got four hunters checking it and it's 1 out of 9, so the odds are not bad,
Hmm.
and get a trail and start moving. Then if I get fast horses, great. As you say, by then it's like, well, okay, how much more have you missed out on waiting for it? I think the rid of the spy card is good for that. If I know players have got this fast horses, a spies. I was one
I
that I
I
never rated. I never really rated it until like right, okay,
I I
100 fast
I like
horses.
Spy. I like Spy. I think it's one of those when I get it. It's not often I ditch it into a lair, or if I do, it's like, oh, they're gonna walk over it. I like Spy because it really forces hunters into a really awkward decision. Like, do I get rid of a weapon and then like they've lost their combat strength potentially, or do you get rid of tickets? That could potentially again ruin the whole game for them as well, depending on who it is, because it could be something that has a double white one. um, yeah, I do like Spy.
Exactly.
I do like Spy. I think it's. I'm not saying it's like top, I'm not saying it's like OP or anything, but I think it's quite an underrated thing. But getting a good Spy,
It is
if it,
because when you're looking at it, you kind of like, yeah. I mean, same with the Scanny Mob is
mm,
underrated, and I
yeah,
love that. There's one of the videos I was playing with Quincy. It's on his channel, and I think he's entitled it. It comes down to this. It's the one where I was in Italy with Dracula and killed Van Helsing, stuck him in Rome hospital, and he couldn't leave because there was a reckless vampire sitting waiting for him. But the one where I'd scanning mob in, I think it was in Toulouse. He had three of his hunters in France, and it matured.
mm,
And it just hit all three hunters, and even himself. He said, "Oh, well, that's fine. Gdaman can take damage." And then it went, and so all of a sudden, all three hunters took 3 damage
yeah,
because they all kept their cards, which for a relatively dormant card, if you like, I was like, that's because then afterwards, all of a sudden, all the cards around it become much more important
yeah.
because
Because if they step on the wrong
Gdaman,
thing at the wrong time, they'll take even more
yeah,
damage, and then they can't fight Dracula anymore. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, and that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about the whole. If we're gonna, the kind of behind it, it's not about Dracula fighting people himself. It's getting his minions to fight them for him.
exactly.
Get them down to a weakened state and then pounce on them with the predator. So yeah, and that's something I learned. I never bothered with these. I was kind of like you're looking for the reckless vampire, the new the cards with power, and I was like, actually, the combination is what's is the best strategy. Throw a few things out there.
Hmm.
I mean, like you'll see, I've not done double vamp for a few games because
You come to
people just expect it or get used to it. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna. You can't keep. You've got to change it up so that it become predictable.
indeed, absolutely.
Still a great tactic, but
Oh yeah, it's a very good. I mean, yeah, all credit to you. It's a very good tactic. I'm just going to say it's actually while we've been talking, the recording's still been going. So probably for the sake of people on YouTube, we'll just stop our conversation here, but we might carry on off camera. But thanks for joining in the voice call for this game, and good game again, Roscoe. Hopefully we can play again very soon.
been good. Thank you, and hope people don't put thumbs down on my voice.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, give him a like. Give him a like, guys. Right, see you in the next one very soon.